Welcome everybody, welcome back to the Tomb of Illumination. This video is about a couple of things. I'm repeating myself. I did a video yesterday and I started off a bit aggressive because I go online and I see these, or YouTube or wherever, I see these ignorant flat earthers going on about stuff that I've clearly shown and explained. There's no one out there who can explain the flat earth system better than me. What they're doing now, well actually if they take my information and animate it, they are better at it than I am. But they've taken the information that I've basically given them and then some of them are actually explaining it a bit better now. Better than the silly flippin' AE map flat earth design of just the sun going around the centre there. You know, because they've all finally learnt now that it can't happen if you've got a 24-hour sun. And I've been saying for years it's a stupid model, and I've got the whole model. It's been there for years, but I don't know, it's just shadow banned, or people are just too ignorant to frickin' get out of that little rut of that silly image they get over there. There's big followings on these certain sites where they spin the bullshit, and now it's all collapsed because of this 24-hour trip to Antarctica. Now, this video is going on YouTube. I put most of my videos on Patreon, so for those who are following me on YouTube and can't afford to give me a coin and join my Patreon, I'll give you this one. So it's going to be about this this dude here. You know, what an ignorant person. I caught him going on about the celestial navigation and how he's contradicting this flat earther regarding celestial navigation. And I hopefully when I post this, I'll put a link to this this guy's post. Well, probably can't actually. It might be in the emails. Because I was going to do another video on the celestial navigation, and it's quite clear that it's all based off flat earth. They just start reverse engineer it and bring you back to the center of the ball. So you draw a globe, and where do they take you? To the center of the ball, to a flat plane, a flat line across the center of the globe. So you basically come back to the flat earth system anyway with your arc of horizon. So you've got to understand what an horizon is. What does it sound like? Rise on. Everything comes into your horizon. To rise on. Go down. So it goes up and over your horizon. So you're standing 90 degrees to zenith of that horizon, that arc. So if it's 3 meters out here at sea level, 3 meters out that side at sea level, don't you think it might be 3 miles? 3 miles perpendicular off the arc back to you, to the observer, all the way over like that, a nice symmetrical arc. Of course it is. You only see so far, there's your horizon. You only see that so far, there's your horizon. So it's obviously 3 miles all the way over at sea level. Elevate yourself, you see more. It stretches. So, and what they do, what they try to fool you with, like this guy, Bob the science guy and all that, they try to fool you. 1 second, I'll get a protractor. I'll try and put a link up of the video I'm referring to, because it was quite easy to understand and see the difference between a globe and the flat earth. Half the video is spent with all the bullshit of the basically globe geometry, which you don't need. And I found this other site where a guy, he's a sailor, he learned it, and he says you don't even have to learn all that spherical geometry. And he's right, I knew that years ago. The first flat earth, the first celestial navigation video I watched. I click straight away. They spend half the time explaining all the BS you don't even need. Because it's all brainwashing, you see, or mind control. So what they talk about is, they try to get your sun position at the zenith point. Because it's all about you being down here with this little dot is here, right? It's all about you there. Everything comes back to you perpendicular off this arc. So you're trying to catch the sun here, right? So let's say you're at the equator. That's where the sun's going to be at the equinox. Okay? But if you're further south, say minus 37 or something like in New Zealand, the sun's not going to be there, is it? It's more like this. So what you've got to understand when they talk about this declination and corrections, this correction when they talk about the what happens when the sun goes down on the horizon, it's always referring to that point as it's dipping down on the horizon here. Because what you've got to understand is declination. If you're on a flat circular plane, right, and there's your arc of horizon, the sun, that's 180 degrees, right? Well, if it went like this, you've got to imagine this point down here becomes longer. It's not now 180 degrees. It's a bit more. You've got to add on this little bit here because you've stretched it out. It might be hard to imagine, but this is basically what it is. Okay. You're stretching it out to more than 180 degrees. So you've got to allow for this, and it's all built into their calculations, all in the almanac, Sailor's Almanac. It's all computerized. You're trying to make out that it's too dumb to figure it out. You know, it's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. That's why the captains kept it all secretive, because they want to be the wise ones, just like the Freemasons now. They want to be the ones that know everything and don't want to explain it to everybody. So, depending on the declination, is how much extra length is added here for when the sun dips on the horizon. Okay? Nothing goes below your horizon. It has to, so instead of going like this, a nice 180 degrees, it's swinging all the way around there. It comes into your horizon, over your horizon, and out of your horizon. Nothing goes below your horizon. You know? So this flipping dude here, he's too ignorant to understand this arc here. So you get one of these, and then they can put another one there, and they say you live on a globe. They only have you drawn here. They don't put you over here or anywhere around here. That'd be dumb, wouldn't it? So they put you there, back to the flat earth system. They spin all this bullshit stories and start drawing all these curved lines and all that. I was hoping to do a video on all that when it was fresh on my mind after watching it all. But then I move on to other things, and and I don't retain information very well, so I can't go back days after unless I go back and watch the whole video again and get it all fresh in my mind. So just bear in mind, it's all flat earth celestial navigation. Just ignore all their BS, man. It's just all bullshit. So that's the celestial navigation bit without me doing an entire video on it and breaking it all down. Although I feel like I did it, but it must have been in my mind. Now let's go on to what's Jeranism up to? What the hell is he up to? You know, it's one of his Friday videos. He got to so I'm halfway through it, and he's talking about that. South American guy who's showing you the your arc of horizon and showing you the sun coming around. Let's draw the tropical gap, shall we? Should we draw a bigger picture? Draw a bigger picture. And there's the centre north, and there's the tropical gap. Okay, and then he's just drawn your arc. Okay, there's your arc of horizon. Man stands. Is that right? Everything comes out like that. So really it should be like that. And there's your dome. So, see, this guy's made this app. He's taken that information from what I've put out there on the line a year or two ago, you know. They're just 3D modelling it. So they didn't know any of this stuff till I came along. So he's having the sun move around the tropical gap, east to west in here, right? And as it moves around here, it's projected up and over your hemisphere. So the sun comes around the flat Earth in the what they call the ecliptic plane. But then you ask yourself, how can a globe have a plane? Why is the word mentioned? There's no plane on a ball. Let's try and stick to their BS like this. There's no plane on the ball. That's not a plane, is it? It's curved. No, there's only a plane back on the flat Earth model. That's the 2D plane. That's the ecliptic plane. The planets and the sun are on. That's the male. All the females are in the vortex. So here's the sun coming around like this. As the sun's over here, this is Antarctica, okay? We're going to deal with Antarctica in a minute. The sun will come up. You do it. You can do this yourself. Just get a fish bowl, put it upside down, paint it black. You'll figure it out. So when the sun's over this side of the world, which means the Milky Way has come out of the centre over to there, because the sun we see is at the end of the Milky Way, because the real sun's back in there. We get an image out here. That's the true unseen sun that no one knows anything about, or where it is, or where it's projecting from, and all that. I'm the only guy who's ever shown all this. Must be the only guy in the world who understands it all. Okay? It's too much for people to understand that the sun, in our realm, it's created there. But you go deeper, you find it's actually there, projecting an image out here. But at the same time, because of our realm and our physical understanding, this creates that. But it's vice versa. It works the same two ways. That feeds into there to keep that alive. But this image has come from there. You know what I mean? Probably not. So, okay, so the Milky Way is over there. So that means the Milky Way is over there. That's where the true sun is. Well, not the true sun. The first state, the first image of the sun is cast here into the tropical gap. Second and third are out here, which are parabolically projected off the curving field here. It's what parabolic mirrors do. And it's the shape of the flux, the magnetic field, the toroidal field of our Earth. This is why you get that. So you'll get it up high here at this time, and it'll come down in Antarctica at 12 p.m. as it comes around, moves around here. That's the first state of projection, the sun. And it's on one curved magnetic field line. See those curved magnetic field line? That's the Milky Way. But that's the northern hemisphere. But the southern hemisphere, you've got to understand, is a mirrored effect from the centre. So everything out here is mirrored from in here. An expanded view of what's in here. So you get the field coming like this. You can say that's the, if it's opposite here, that is the Milky Way. It's on one of these field lines. But these are all magnetic field lines. But they're infinite. You put 1,000,000 in between there and there. They're infinite. But at the precise moment in time, that is where the sun is. On that the Milky Way is there, but it's always moving around. So mirroring the moving of this one. But then you've got to go into understand the cycle of this field and the cycle of this field. There's two cycles, and they start opposing each other and offsetting a little bit. And that offsetting draws them in over the season, but the realignment parts them again, because you could think of them as two positive fields, opposing each other, or changing a little bit, the negative and positive attracting each other, drawing each other in. You've got to understand that. There's a trinity into understanding the flat earth system. Everything. You just don't think of one thing. And this is what the average flat earther does. He thinks of one thing, like this guy, and he ignores the other two to make sense. You have to understand the whole three to have it make sense. So you've got to understand everything, and there's so many things. You can't just be basic and just focus on one thing. So Kieran's trying to say this thing's a joke, because how can the sun be over here and be up here at the same time? Well, you've got to understand the ecliptic plane. The magnetic field follows the Earth's magnetic field, and the Earth's magnetic field is basically the ecliptic plane, which flexes up and in or down and out. The sun could be anywhere on that plane at that moment in time, at that time of the year. Obviously, when it's straight through here, it's equinox. That's another story too. Another long story. You can't just think it's the equinox either. So, okay, so when the sun starts coming around here, when the Milky Way comes right around to here, midday, that sun there will be down here. There's only one sun. It's all governed by the one sun right back at creation here. Okay? That's just the first state of projection. Second state, third state. Or first state, and they are both second states. All false. There's the true one. Plato's dialogue talks about things being false. We're in the false realm. This is the true first state, reality, back here. Okay? So, in the southern hemisphere, you've got your own cycle out here now. Look at this. See these curves? What do you think this curve represents? This curl here. That's... this is deep. Let's just not go there right now. Come back here. We've got the a separate cycle at this time of the year, after the 17th of October. Your science may say after the equinox the light turns up in Antarctica. No, the light turns up then, because that's when the two cycles split. And it's magnetism. So we look at the flat earth like this, we should do. Remember the AEM map all expands out from the centre. But then you've got to think of the celestial, which overlays it, right? And you got the centre north, and then you got the southern hemisphere. This is one man's meridian, so you've got to take one man's perspective there and there. That's it. But you can assume that this represents anywhere around here. Okay, so that's completely separated at this time. But we talk about celestial, all the stars, the magnetic field. Well, at the time of the year, as the year goes on, this thing moves right up and in like this, as it's moving around the Earth, goes way up there, and this becomes conjoined. It's a one magnetic field system. So you just get in the one cycle system when it comes to the sun. Although it's just not one sun, okay? It's not until it's completely separated that the Arctic will get its own image around the observer. So let's go way up there, shall we? The one cycle around the observer. Because the ecliptic plane is right down and out. It's right down and out. It means it sent the sun right out around here. It's infinite. You can draw it anywhere, but it's basically infinite. It's the sun, light, all the way around there. Because that's it. Consider that the hemisphere if you want. And the sun is right down and out. It's down and out in the ecliptic plane. So this is the flexing of the ecliptic plane up in creation, but we get the sun, you know, moving right down out here, is bringing this field right down and out here. The ecliptic plane is flexed right down. So the magnetic field is down and out. Okay? So, but at the same time, you've got to realize it cannot work on a globe, because although it's getting 24-hour sun there, we can still have night time between, from here, a slice of the pie, we can still get night time in here. Because in here is on the other side of 66.6 degrees. This line here, this boundary line here, is when the sun moves onto this side. So if you go sailing at that time of the year, you're going to see the sun here 1 minute, sun over here in 1 minute, and then the next thing the sun's over here on this side. It's the two suns there. That's just at that time of the year. But when they come back and conjoin again, right up here or there, there's just the one sun. It pops out of the south. It's a phase shift. And it can be described in magnets. And Ken Wheeler's done it, but no one's really picked up on it when he's moving the other ring magnet or whatever, the other magnet over the ferro cell, which is above another magnet. The dual system, see, dual magnetism. And that's what we get here. We get like an overlay of the two magnetic fields. Earth is a dual system, okay? Everything is dual about it. The secret is in the third entity. That's the spiritual, the hidden, the metaphysical. So, we've got, in the blue I've drawn nighttime, but it can come round and you can actually get, you know, daylight there too. The Milky Way will come around and there's your sun in this, that's swung around. You've got the sun. So this can be all daylight too. Okay? So if it's daylight here, that means the sun has dropped down on the horizon of anyone out there in Antarctica. And when it starts moving away, it rises back up again. Okay? So this is where you get that wave going around, waves up and then comes down, then waves up and back down again. And they sort of show that or describe that on the ball here. Because if you're focusing on the sun, as this bottom turns, it's going up and down. But they neglect this issue here where we get night time in here. You can't have day and night on the one arc of longitude on the globe. It does not work. The whole globe is BS. It doesn't work at all. I've proved that many a times. So we have daytime, nighttime all the way to there, and then we have daytime over here. So you've got a sun there, you've got a sun there, you've got the sun of creation back in here, but it's all governed by this one here at the end of the day, which sends its image out to the end of the Milky Way that moves around here. So Jaren's still on about how do you get the sun here when you got the sun over there? He's neglecting the other two issues in the trinity. The dual magnetic field. Earth is not singular, it's dual. What do you think we have two hemispheres for? The human brain has two hemispheres. He's only using one. You know? first kingdom, second kingdom. The ancient Egyptians have left it for us. That's the middle kingdom. No, but common man believes all the BS stories of these silly Egyptologists and all these theologians who have got no idea about anything. It's just their state of consciousness describing it the simple way. And that's as far as man goes. He goes to the wall. This stops at the wall of the simple zone. How about climbing the fence? Going beyond simple man's imagination. There's another world over here. It's called opening up your brain. Okay? So, you've got to understand the dual system to understand this effect. How he keeps saying the world's a globe because this happens. Well, how the hell do you get nighttime in here if there's sun there, nighttime here on a globe? How can you have the three on the one arc of longitude when the sun follows this magnetic field? You can see it in their images. They draw you a sun that sort of looks in this shape, doesn't it? Well, that's because the magnetic field is curved. This is the negative because you come out positive, go back in negative. This is why you get this shape. Okay, you've got to understand the magnetic field of a toroidal field. You know, you've got toroidal field. You've got all the lines coming this way, and then you go back this way. Oh, sorry. What are we doing? This way. See, you get the leafy look, the overlay look. That's the toroidal field, the flare of life, whatever you want. Positive, negative. Now, this is all described in the Bible, you know, eh? This is the magnetic field line. They're all curved. There's nothing straight in magnetic fields. And everything concerns magnetism in our realm. That's how it came about. This is the plowshare they talk about in the Bible, the curving magnetic field. It's a plowshare wave. It's all wave form because everything comes from the 2D wave out from the center. Drop a pebble and the wave comes out. Red shift and blue shift in here, right? So in the southern hemisphere, everything comes out of the south. I was saying all this before he went down to the Antarctica, and then he comes back and starts going, "Oh gee, how do you get the sun coming out of the south like that?" Well, Lindsay Harris has been showing and describing all this for a couple of years. Well, he's been going on for 7 years, but they just ignore because I don't think he's out to show people the truth. He can't do. You can't be that ignorant. Trust me. So here we have the plowshare, the curving magnetic field. Why is it like this? Because it's projected from the center. The southern hemisphere is an inverted image of the northern hemisphere. So as this turns. So if that turns a full circle, then this has to turn a full circle. And this will take you back to this thing here. Why are you getting the sun circulating here? Because it's circulating here, right back in here. It's a mirrored image. Okay? So, but at the same time, you've got to imagine, you know, put the Arctic one aside. That's a split cell. When it's conjoined, you've got to realise all the stars are all drifting in and out. They all drift in this way from the east and go out by the west. But we have this permanent circle here because it's imitating this permanent circle in here. There's a central vortex in here, turning all the time. So you'll always get this mirrored circular motion here. But the stars aren't all doing circles. They're not circumpolar out here. They just drift in, go over your horizon like a half cycle as they go out of your horizon. Okay? So if you've got a fixed camera on a straight line meridian, this is what you get. You get your rotation. So you've got a fixed circle at all times. But if your camera's on a tracker, equatorial mountain or something, you can see all these stars come in, go over and go out. Just follow them all the way around. Because if you chase them, you can follow the stars all the way around like this. But what they're doing is they'll come out wide here and swing in and swing in somewhere around along the line here, because it's all coming out of a vortex, an S-curve vortex. So it can't be completely circumpolar from here in one big circle. It has to wind in. It's the Fibonacci, or the golden ratio. It's got to wind in before it comes back out again, then it comes back out again. That's what all these stars out here are doing. So even in the north, they call them the circumpolar as opposed to the south. But even back in the north, you're still going to get this effect, where they're sort of going in like this. Okay? It's half the cycle there. It's what it would be doing. So that's center. That's what it's doing before it comes. That's coming out or out again. That's when you get into your cardioid. Okay? So let's say we've got three things here organised. We've got the dual system is one. Make a note so you get it clear in your mind. Understanding the trinity. Oh, should have kept that. So one is the duality, the dual system, the dual magnetic cycles. The overlay. And this dual, when it gets the overlay, that's how we form our constellations, how the constellations come in and go out. Get it? The northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere stars overlay, you're going to create, hey, look at constellations coming in. Oh, we've got Virgo around September. Oh. And then, come October, it's gone, I would hope. And then goes out. Oh, as it coming in, you got Virgo. Oh, there's Virgo. Come March, April, and then up there, and then it comes back out. Oh, well, there's Virgo again on the other equinox. This is the sun. This is the sun's analemma as well. The two cycles coming up. You got the northern hemisphere. Well, the sun. If the southern field's coming up like this, well, there's your sun analemma, isn't it? This is all detailed in my Patreon, eh? I'm not sure if I put this on YouTube. Probably have, actually. So there's one. Two, maybe understanding man's personal arc of horizon. Man's personal arc of horizon. That's this dome here, right? Right here. That's how he sees everything. Everybody around the south will get this image out in Antarctica, because this all comes from the centre, doesn't it? It just depends on where the sun is in the tropical gap here, as to what time he's going to have the sun up or down on his horizon. Okay, a lot of scribble in there. Man's personal arc of horizon, the trinity. What are these trinities? The dual system. Well, you've got to understand there's three. The sun is in many places. The sun is in many places, but only seen in one. Your arc of horizon. Man only gets one image within his horizon. 4. Understanding the suns. How many suns? How many suns are there? How many suns are there? Suns are there? Well, there's the original one we don't know of. People don't know where it is. It's up there. I know where it is. Projecting out to the first state. Then you've got the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere. So we can just work on the 3 for now. The 3, but then that breaks down to everybody seeing their own image. So you've got to understand the 3 suns. Understand parabolic mirrors. 5. Okay. 5. The parabolic projected images. Of the sun. I mean, the sun doesn't give the heat. That's just the focal point, like using a spyglass. What do you call them? A magnifying glass. From here, it's inside the dielectric. Leonardo da Vinci. You just read his information. He's got it drawn there, and he's showing you the parabolic effect. Science knows all this. They know the Earth's flat. You know, how it comes back to the observer. From a projection point. The sun's over here, it's going to come down here, like this. You've got the northern hemisphere as well, because you've got the northern hemisphere shaped like this. So you've got that arc there as well. It's the top of your fishbowl, say. You've got this arc in here. An image there. But this hidden one up here, where are we? We're talking about the tropical gap now, so the sun will be in here, going around the tropical gap. The parabolic projected image of the sun. It's not an object. Don't be... Oh. You know, is that where they're being ignorant? They just expect the sun to be a physical object. I think that's what he's doing. The sun... I mean, you'd have to be really dumb as a flat earther to be thinking that the sun is an object, for a starter. So what's he on about? The sun is not a one-off physical object. Everything up there is as light as a feather. It's written in esoteric stories, because there's nothing physical above man. Nothing physical above man, as there is nothing spiritual below his feet. There's 5. You know, if you don't accept any of these, and you're just going to stay at Drongo, you're never going to learn. You're never going to learn the flat earth system. Okay. The trinity of the 3 suns. The Milky Way is a directional. Is directional. Just following the Milky Way, remember? The Milky Way is like a straw in a teacup, straw in a cup. You've got this turning vortex, always turning. So the Milky Way is always turning. It's like a clock arm. There's the sun, like a clock arm turning. So, you know, imagine this image coming around the AE map or whatever. But it's all projected up into the magnetic field, which then gets projected onto the parabolic sides of the Earth. Okay? It's understanding that. Because it's all due to magnetism. Everything's magnetism. There's another one, see? If you don't understand magnetism, you're going to get nowhere. Everything is based on magnetism. On magnetism. Everything. This is magnetism. Create the magnetic field. This is dying, this pen. The magnetic field of Earth it comes up here, down here, round there, up there, down there, and around there. So all the magic's down here, with these 2 magnetic fields. You know, you've got your gap. You know all about electrodes You can say those electrodes, positive, negative, or anodes and cathodes, capacitance, electromagnetic induction. There's a few. It's what it's all about. It all breaks down to the same thing. A weak force and a strong force. There has to be this golden ratio difference. Okay, 3:2 ratio I could say, but it's probably more like the 1.618. It creates the first state of a sun's image. From there it is refracted parabolically off the two concave outer fields governed by the flexing of the ecliptic plane tilt for seasonal change. Okay, you've got to understand the seasonal change. You've got to understand, the duality. You've got to also understand. You've got 7. Understand the conjoined dual fields that create the new constellations. Constellations. So come in and go out. Create the new constellations. Understand the conjoined dual fields. The overlay. Ancient Egyptians have left us all this. Seti 1, Abydos. Overlays. The reliefs. They had an image. Then they brought this other image over and overlaid them. Changed the image. Hey, you only get that here on this channel. But, you know, you're pretty lucky to get this information. People pay me for this stuff. They support me. You're in Patreon. So maybe I should just release, if I knew how to edit well, I'd probably cut bits out. I should cut bits out. Good thing I don't know how to edit for you guys. So if you like this sort of thing, join the club. That's probably all I have today. Don't hang out here unless you want to stay ignorant. I think these are jacked up numbers. They're actually all globe believers, just like entertainment. I mean, Jeran's a good talker. It's good entertainment. I mean, the whole Antarctic trip was good entertainment for almost a year, wasn't it? But do you want entertainment or do you want the truth? Stay there for your entertainment. I'm not very entertaining. But if you want the truth, you're going to have to come over and find it. And, you know, you've pretty much given it to you all here in this one video. But everything goes deeper than this. You start understanding, if you understand all this, you start understanding the meaning to life. Why you're here. What's the connection between this earthly system and your brain? Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget to put a thumbs up or a likes up and subscribe and share it. We'll get more people coming over and understanding the truth so we don't look like dummies. I mean, there's all these flat earthers out there making us look like dummies because they're ignorant. They just stay in their little basements, come up with their own imaginations. This isn't my imagination. This all comes from the ancients and they knew it all and it all makes sense. It all equates. It all adds up. And then you got Simon Dan, all those dipsticks making dicks of flat earthers. And then you got all the simple-minded people out there who go along with, you know, Simon Dan and his, depiction of flat earthers. So the average person out there thinks flat earthers are frickin' idiots. So at the end of the day, they're simple. Simon Dan's just a straight-out liar. He gets a script from his minders, reads that out according to what they want him to say, and that's how he performs. You only get the truth here, I'm telling you. Unless guys have listened to me and they've gone and, explained it a lot better using animation and all that. No, nobody's really... someone's offered to help me, but they just come and go and never see them again, and I lose track of them. Someone should just come in and say, look, I'm going to animate it for you. Where do we start? But no one's come forth and done that. And all the money's with the globe theory, you see. All the Freemasons do all the funding. And there's no way they're going to support the actual model, are they? No. Okay, thanks for watching.